Let's hope this works. Let's hope we don't have a gaggle of audio issues. Really kind of over it. Getting late. Jim's likely to be asleep, which is unfortunate, but unfortunately I couldn't get to this job any sooner. Alright, Jim has been notified. Everything's looking up and running. Now we wait for everybody to come in and say, that doesn't work, something's wrong, yada yada yada. Fully prepared for it. It seems like YouTube is not broadcasting this. Let's pop out the chat. No viewers, excellent connection. Brilliant combination. YouTube must be just slow tonight. Everybody's out running around freaking out because it's Christmas Eve. Wow, something really is up here. Normally you see some sort of activity. Oh well. Here all by myself. David's ruined it. Hello, David. Basil. Just getting the bottom plate off this machine because it does contain personal information of the owner. Alright, now we can flip over. So basically we have a 1466 and this particular 1466 does not see its solid state drive apparently. Able to get it to boot from an external SSD, doesn't read the internal SSD, and my face camera is auto focusing even though it was told not to. Delightful. Autofocus is not set. No, I'll have to do it manually if it misbehaves. Hey Basil, oh you already said that, Basil. Capaz. Am I closing shop? No. Closing shop is a mythical thing that people do when they're rich. And since I'm not filthy rich, I will not be closing shop. Hey Greg, Felix, Creative Visual New Zealand. Yeah, it would be early morning for you guys. Well, about 3 o'clock in the morning for you guys. You're either up late or really. So 396. Paul Howe, James Ewing, Jose Arasola is here. That's good. Is here. Ted Berry. Been a long time, I think. Have you been here before, Ted? Seem to have a bit of trouble remembering. And Mr. Lockhart's here, very good. 2:30, rainy in Oxfordshire. We could do some rain here. Instead it's just been rotten hot. I mean, really hot, humid, unpleasant. Wonder if we'll get a nice wet Christmas. Around here, getting a nice wet Christmas is as good as getting a white Christmas for the people in the Northern Hemisphere, I'd say. Why would anyone want John Farnham? Well, because he's the voice. Okay, so first glance, we've got a 00165 board, so best set that up in Sadie the cleaning lady is not a good option, no. Your other voice is the right one. 396. Eight two zero 165. You had hernia surgery last week, Ted. Oh, that's... You still in, like, recovery? Well, there's a couple of reasons why you might not see the SSDs. Sometimes it's corrosion in the connector. Sometimes it's corrosion on the other side for the signal switching and the power switching. There's a couple of little glass 6-pin MOSFET type things that often get unlucky and get corroded. But overall the board looks alright. I'm not sure if it's a field replacement unit board because it has got a bit of it's got a stamp on it that you don't normally see out of direct factory units. So I think we'll just take it straight out and have a look on the other side. Hey Teresa. Hi, g'day Mark, how's it going? Where you been, Mark? Me. We have got a very full house here at the moment because not only do we have two of the girls now in the house because they're being desexed and they're recovering, but the clinic here also needed someone to look after a couple of kittens over the Christmas period. So we foolishly, maybe, I don't know, we said, yeah, okay, we'll look after them for you for the next 10 days. So we also have an additional 2 kittens. That means we've got a lot of cats around this house right now. Audio issues again, I can't be bothered. I can see it blinking. I don't know why it blinks. It can't be power because it's running directly off. It's running directly off the USB port. There's no hub, there's nothing. And I've got it as far away in the other corner of the room as I can. I'll see if I can disable my... I'm going to disable my router's Wi-Fi. What the... Router Wi-Fi antennas removed. Let's see if that does anything. Maybe I should just log into the router. Oh, of course it's not going to be able to pick up anything because I've disabled that. Let's just turn it back on. I could have sworn I was able to select advanced. Oh, it's probably can't see anything because I took its antennas off. I'll just leave it off for now. Because it's not a critical one. If I want an access point here, I'll just drop another access point in. Really, this machine, that device is acting merely as a hub more than anything else. We'll see how we go. See if it blinked out. It's not that. What in heaven's name is causing this? I'm going to pull this apart and see if there's something loose in here. I doubt it, but you're not going to have audio while I do this, so forgive me. Well, if there was ever a warranty on that, there probably isn't now. I definitely can't see anything notable in there. All I did is just added a bit more decoupling capacitance, but I doubt that's going to do anything. I'm pretty sure this is going to have a spasm again. From what I can see, you basically, it's a Bluetooth monolith design, and if it's Bluetooth issues you're having, there's basically nothing you can do. The audio stage, yeah, if there were issues with the audio stage, we wouldn't get blinking issues on the receiver. You would get distortion on the audio, you would, all those sort of things, but you wouldn't get the sync disconnect, because that's what's happening is when the LED on the receiver side of it turns off, that means it's lost its Bluetooth binding and it has to re-establish. So yeah, it's just a little weird. Guess we'll see how it goes. I fully expect it to drop dead, Fred. Alright, let's get back to our previously scheduled program and wait for the trash to happen. It would be very unusual if it was a decoupling cap issue. Very unusual. We added, those caps I put on there, they're just 10 microfarad ceramics. So it's nothing substantial, but it is enough to sort of add a bit of stability if we've got a high frequency type problem. Started just now? Yeah, that'd be bloody right. What I don't get is why this one is worse than the previous one. Yeah, for all I know, it's actually a receiver fault, not transmitter fault. Hey V-Dog, alright, hopefully we can solve it. There are several reasons for SSD failures on these, but hopefully the one that we find here might help you. The very worst is when it's like a PCH CPU fault. Started just now. I'm gonna go get the other receiver. Give me 2 minutes. Alright. Now disconnecting receiver. Come here. It seems like I can't use the old receiver. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to have another couple of minutes to disconnect as I open up this old receiver. Alright, I think we're back. Hey, Vladimir. Yeah, there really wasn't anything that was outstandingly obvious there, but then again, that is the nature of the fault, isn't it? It's something like very intermittent. So we'll see how we go. Those three-leg TO23s, yeah, the what looked like a crack was really just poor filleting, but the electrical connection was actually perfectly fine. So I'm really at a loss. Right, once more we try to get back to this. It's going to take us all night at this rate. Interesting that the old style... Did we have a glitch? Yeah. Anytime anyone says, it's all good, it goes and dies. I'm not sure it's a item you can just replace. Let's see, I was going to say, I'm not sure it's an item you can just replace with another Bluetooth receiver. It does look like it's custom configuration. Proper warm-up, I think not. These things don't have warm-up cycles. I could always run dmessage and see if anything's coming up in the system logs. You could just use a cable. I could, but that is extremely inhibiting when you're walking around and working on things. Yeah, cutting out when I move, it could still just be a bad, microphone assembly. But that would be very unusual. Unusual on the basis of the fact that I wouldn't expect to see the Bluetooth pairing light drop out. That's the thing that sends me insane, is that the Bluetooth pairing light is what dies. And like if I wiggle its antenna, yeah, nothing much happens. I can't get it to misbehave by playing with the cables. This is going to be precarious. I'm going to jump up and get snared. Anyway, we've got a little bit of fluff down here. There might be some corrosion on this board. Let's have a look and find out. Hey, Pianov. So look, we've certainly got enough dust and junk here that a bit of corrosion wouldn't be unheard of. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. Nah, Vladimir, I've tried cleaning them several times now. Several times. Different batteries, different contacts. Same problem. So this is what I was somewhat anticipating to be the fault. We'll bring up flex board view and show you. Pretty sure this is it here. 3v3S3 switch. Actually, that is not the one I was expecting. But that certainly needs repairing. We'll come back to that. It does make me... Well, yes, that's going to need to be cleaned. They're quite lucky it didn't come down a bit further. Hey Keith McDermott. I can see now why Lewis used to often say hello to me several times in a chat. Yeah, so we've got some corrosion along these resistors here. Oh shoot, you can't see. Let's do the all-in. So we've got some corrosion up here. It doesn't look like that should be critical, but it's certainly something to take note of. Yeah, let's have a look at the pinouts on that. See what that's going to affect. It just doesn't... The trouble I'm having here is it doesn't match the symptoms that they talk about. So this is the one I might have been thinking about, this U4810, which was these ones here. It goes in the flex, no. What about you? U8000, S4 switch, U8050. Anyway, well, that needs replacing undoubtedly, so we'll replace that and we'll see if the behavior has changed. And if it has, then we'll say a job well done and we totally didn't know what we were doing. That was the general area that I was expecting to see corrosion, but now that I've brought up the board view and the schematic, I was kind of like, wait, what's going on there? I am actually wondering how this even booted, to be honest. Poundov's here, he'll be able to tell us why. And we'll give this board a full ultrasonic. No, maybe it's the titanium hip I've got that's causing the problems. Maybe they didn't put titanium in. Maybe it's lead. Oh wait, that's right. I haven't got a titanium hip or anything. I've got a normal bone one. It's an L that's got the titanium one. We haven't been told to stop. What on earth for? The alien implant. That sounds far more likely. Still going to need a bit more cleaning up there, and I broke my tip off the knife, so it's now useless. Damaras, it's not a normal, whatever it is, Bluetooth or whatever it is, it's not a normal sort of thing where you can just connect it up to another Bluetooth device. It has its own custom receiver and everything like that. Changing the knife blade at the moment. I'll make sure I don't cut myself too much. The PC side, yeah, it's a dedicated receiver module, a bit like when you get keyboard and mouse receiver modules. Although you can bind it, so that's the interesting thing. But I think it's more to do with binding the individual headset transmitters as opposed to a normal Bluetooth binding. Reballing these little blighters is actually more of a pain than you think at first. Yeah, this is actually the XPD2. This is the one that has the 3.5mm audio jack output on the receiver side, which is why it probably didn't work when I tried to bind with the XPD1 receiver. You can just get out of here. You're no use at all. You clearly didn't do your job. We've got a blob of protecting stuff here and a blob of protecting stuff here, and the corrosion was smart enough to just go right between them. It'd be very interesting if it was me blocking the receiver. That would be really... I'll tell you what, the way we can test it is normally I put this in my left pocket. I'll put it in my right pocket, which kind of feels funny, but yeah, it's kind of like writing with your opposing hand. Anyway, we'll see how we go with that, shall we? Alright, we got ourselves a donor. .165 donor required. I mean, the 3437's probably got the exact same thing in the exact same spot, but for the sake of, let's see, is posterity the word I'm after? We'll just use a 165 board. Not like we don't have any. There we go. There's our little chip. Hey Christian. Well, we'll guess we see. If we have a signal failure in the next couple of minutes, we'll know it's not me blocking the signal. Hopefully I can get to it, because obviously I've clearly ruined the warranty on those things. Does it have RTX on? There's nothing like that on this. They're dedicated plug-and forget type module things. Alright, I'm gonna have to put some balls on this. Mind you, it's kind of not too bad already. Well, there's no arm on this chair, so that one doesn't get to count, but large watery mass might have been the cause. Something like this. Let me check, Mark. Hey, anonymous repair. Oh god, no, those things. Oh god, no. Yeah, I know those headsets, no. That's how I ended up with this one, is that I went through a lot of different... Yeah, I know you don't turn off, but there's one out of balance here, this bottom right one. It's out of balance compared to the rest, or bottom left rather. Wait, top right. And I just want to puff it up slightly. We're doing this Tesla style. Okay, I was about to bring the... Okay. My wife's just giving me the update on Bell. Okay, that'll be fine. For those of you who don't know who Tesla is, there's a video of him doing reballing of something equivalent to like a TriStar or something like that. Completely freehand with a soldering tip and no microscope. It is, and this was before anybody else was really getting into the repairs. It's completely bonkers. Oh, crikey. Alita's asking me questions. Hey sweetie, I'm doing a live stream at the moment, but I'll leave it up to your good judgment. I would probably say it might be a good time to bring Belle in anyway, because it is 1:30 in the morning, full stop. I still like to put some sort of bowling on these chips peeling off. I just like it to have that little bit of clearance until I do stupid stuff like that. Now I've actually messed it up. I've messed it up because what happened is I spasmed and I touched the chip and squished everything down. And now my perfection demands take over and make me say to everybody, get stuffed, I'm doing what I want. Alright, Tesla style. It's like Gundam style. Okay, so how's the audio been now in the last 5 minutes? Any glitches? So far, no audio. Okay, Paul, I'll get this finished first. I'm just going to reflow these, which isn't going to quite work because that bottom left one is actually going to draw off more. Okay. I'm just creating more work for myself. I totally understand that. Sometimes you got to realize that when you're doing this kind of work, after a while you kind of get bored in a funny way, so you decide to make things a little more challenging for yourself in ways like this, just to see if you can discover new techniques or learn a new bad way of doing something. I mean, that's how I ended up coming up with the wet SMC reballs system. Yeah, I can't say I'm overly happy with that. Where did I put that thing? It's pulled down to the bottom because of that pad, but I think we're good. Still no glitches? Maybe it's just my body fat was like enveloping around the antenna. Could have been that. Hey, JMAB2 from Amsterdam, welcome. Oh, crikey. Bit of pain there. Is it back in the left pocket? No, it's in the right hand pocket at the moment, which is closer to the antenna, which is just there. Yeah, blubber. Human blubber, most powerful RF attenuating agent. Seriously, no glitches now. That's really interesting. It makes me wonder whether the antenna connection is a little bit sus, because I noticed it had what looked like a very slight head and pillow effect around the shaft of the antenna, and those antennas can be very sensitive to if you get that sort of thing happening, it can completely throw off their impedance balance and things like that. So I don't know. Oh well. Still working on your own gravitational field, can't say it. You'll always have your own gravitational field. Don't try to be someone else's gravitational field or like someone else's. Okay, has the leader responded to me yet? Oh, she just complied, which means basically she's going to do what she wants. She just wanted to know what my stance was. Yeah. She didn't really need my approval. She's just being nice. Well, the company supplying my new multimeter has taken the money out of my account, so it must be getting either in this. Hey, whoa! This is a weird keyboard. It's either in the country and they're going to send it, or they're just taking the money out for good measure. Okay, first thing I wanted to do is, you notice I didn't put the solid state drive back into the board because I wanted to make sure that it was going to boot okay before putting, their precious data in there. Osis, there's a few people discussing poor range and crackling with those, saying you have to be right next to them. That's interesting. It's a very strange thing then. Maybe they don't even have proper automatic gain control on the receiver side. Because I can get out the door and go a moderate distance before it drops out. So I think it might be a case of human blubber obstructing the field. So maybe the ideal place to put these sort of receivers is up on the ceiling. Then someone's probably going to have blubber going over that. Alright, so that's working well enough that I can put their drive in now. Steve K, yes, probably playing around for money, buying shares with it. Liquid mass of the body does some impedance of wave propagation, reflections, deflections, which is why 3D sonar scanning for the body is difficult. Yeah, that's true. And of course, yeah, because the antenna does rest right up against you, even though it's not a wire on flesh contact, it may be enough still, there may be enough coupling there that your body does basically just suck the energy right out of that antenna. Still, it's interesting. Okay, right, so this is now going to hopefully boot to their system. And so I'm going to put the privacy cover on there. Barry, maybe the problem is simply they don't want to cook the people that are wearing it. Hey, did we just get a bong? Yo, yay! We got a boot coming up here. You can see the Apple logo. Yep, that's a success. A bit. It's a fixer. It's all fixed. There you go. You can see that. Okay, rare one to be, yeah, that working. I'm shocked. Shocked. Alright, so now that that is fixed, do we try put the transmitter on the other side of my hip? Okay, so the antenna's over there. We're now going to put it into my blubber hip. And to be fair, where the antenna rests when I look down, the path basically would be through most of my pelvis. So it's going through my leg, my hip bone, my pelvis, everything like that. And yeah, I was going to make a joke there. I'll leave that alone. Leave it alone, Paul. But now we've got to wait. You watch, it's never going to do it again now. We've scared it away. Don't forget to charge for holiday rate. Oh, this is business to business, so this one gets standard rates. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy for them to keep sending me the jobs because they are a good client. There's been a few unfortunate hiccups, not through my fault or their fault, but through freight issues. And yeah, so they've lost a fair bit of money on some things. I've lost a little bit of money, but yeah, but they still persist with me, which is really good. And Greg's got all the stories on courier issues. As long as you get it ultimately, Greg, that'll be the fun, nice thing. Do I want to be Santa Claus? Hell no. Hey, ITC. I'm just gonna... Not on a $3,500 laptop, no thanks. Armband holder, that's always an idea. I see what you did there, Sutterbridge. I see what you did there. Nice try. But at least this one's fixed, so I'm happy about that. Of course, it does have to still go through the ultrasonic process, and I'll need to check those resistors and parts that had that slight bit of corrosion on them. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it was enough to make me sit and think about cleaning them up directly. Oh. I'm just clean that very dry, crusty thermal paste off there. Jaden, I do indeed, yes. Yeah, would not like to be without that thing. That's my 8-inch hydroponics extractor going into a 2-foot long carbon canister. That's good. 396. That can go into the slots. And I'll have a quick looky-loo at the next job. It's getting a bit late, but I'll have a look at it anyway. Yeah, I was moving around, yep. Alright, we're just going to have to switch over to... Okay, so now let's see if it gets any distortion. Distortion, distortion. Any distortion just then? Anyway, I'm switching it back to the other side now. Hey JCT. Alright, just got to get the bottom panel off this 1708. Isn't? No, this isn't a 1708, this is a 19 something. No signs of life. Again, I'm not showing the removal of the panel because the panel, they've got stickers on the bottom which reveals too much information. See you, Jose. Take care. Yeah, we'll keep safe here too. Alright. Bottom panel off. It's, looks fairly clean to start, which is a bad sign. Where the hell's my USB meter? Oh, somebody's gonna be in trouble. Somebody's gonna be in trouble. USB-C meters do not just walk out of this room. Unless I'm the one that's been walking them out. Hey man, of sheds. Okay. Well, I do have a backup one at least. I just don't like it as much. Alright, we've got a backup. The only thing I can possibly think of is for some reason I took it downstairs to test to see if something was charging or not, but even that's a bit weird. Okay, we do get some activity. 5 volts, 240 milliamps, 20 volts, 80, 60. 800 milliamps at 20 volts, 900 milliamps. This sounds like it's... this is booting. No, this is booting. Oh, how embarrassing. Surely they didn't just have a bad... The only thing is the boot is very slow and the progress bar is stalling on the right hand edge of the Apple logo, which is never a good thing. I don't know if you can see it. Whoops, there it goes. Looks like we made some progress then. Alright. Okay, what I'm going to do before I do anything with this machine is I am going to actually set it up into target disk mode, clone the drive, and then take the board out and have a look. So, because if it's arrived here like this, oh, damn it, now I'm thinking maybe I should take it out because there's probably a bit of corrosion somewhere. Choices. Just gonna have a look at the ports. I genuinely don't know which option to take right now. Part of me wants to just simply do the backup before I do anything further. But then I'm wondering, if you do that, what if you're actually increasing the risk of permanent damage and it fails halfway through the backup and you never get it back? All because you didn't bother to go in and clean up a dodgy bit of corrosion that was borderline destroying everything. These are the predicaments of repair life. Conservative, do the backup. Well, looks like I'm going against the conservative. The reason why I have a concern is that the people who've sent me this would not normally send me something. Yeah, they do a pretty thorough test. So the fact that it's arrived and it's booting means that something has... something's either got a bit of gnarly bit of corrosion hanging off it, or, well, I don't know. Anyway, obviously I'm taking out the board by the looks of it. I think maybe, depending on what we find... Oh man, damn it. I don't know which, damn it. Mixed up those screws. They're probably the same. Okay, thanks Paul. Appreciate you letting me know. I think the reason why I'm taking the board out is because there have been a few times where I've received a device and it's had, yeah, one boot left on it, so to speak, before it finally gives up, kills the CPU, takes out the storage and things like that. And I guess I don't want to see any sort of repeat of that kind of thing. Is the window air conditioning on standby? Oh, it's running. No, it's not on standby. It's running. Yeah, on the internet, exactly. It's always easier in hindsight, of course, to pick the right choice, but uh, sometimes there isn't even a right choice. Sometimes it's just doomed no matter what route you take, what sequence. Choose your choice of word. Cracky, there's a lot of screws in these things. I'm being naughty there and using a T4 on a T5 head. You can get away with that. Just as long as you don't torque it too much. You do that and you're going to round or bend the fins off your driver. Has had more lockdowns in the UK. Yeah, Australia's... Sydney decided to be the naughty party this time. Now I understand, people want to be with their families and everything like that, but I think also at the same time there's a hell of a lot of wailing about the injustice and how could they and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, if it went the other way and there wasn't the lockdown and then one of your family members died because of that, you'd also be wailing down. So I guess maybe they got the same problem I've got here. What's the sequence of least damage? It is interesting in this day and age with us being, families spread all over the country or all over the planet for that matter. And we have this expectation that everybody can just get on a plane and go see each other whenever they want. But when you think back, if you're around in like the 60s, 70s, or any time around about that sort of area, you'll know that if your family lived in another state, particularly here in Australia, then seeing them every 3 or 4 years is probably about normal. But we've now been conditioned to this idea that everybody should be able to just get on a plane and come visit with no dramas every 6 months. And it's like, it's not really the case. I mean, it's nice to have that option, but I think it's become too much of an expectation now, and that is where a lot of problems can come from. Steve, they're doing well. Let's see. Belle is pretty much recovered now. It's 1 week on with her surgery. Talia, which is the ginger that was smushing up to me last night, she is actually doing very well. She's still smushy. Yeah, okay. This one seems to have no visible damage. That's a little terrifying. This is a sort of job where I will simply say, I can't fix it, but I will do the data recovery and that's it. Most popular beaches in South Africa are closed due to the second strain. What would that be, like in Durban area? What are your popular beaches these days? I mean, I know Durban was always popular for the beach. Okay, 850, 9240. Still waiting for the zombie strain. Is that just so you can see Brad Pitt get out and do his stuff? Interesting that they've added this little separator here. Almost as if they were running into issues where the board would be contacting the chassis. Steve, yeah, sorry. Yeah, those two, they're here. Unfortunately, the clinic kind of dropped a bomb on us when we were picking them up. It was just by a casual mention that we found out that they, a couple of weeks ago, had feline influenza, cat flu. And even though they've supposedly been cleared up and everything like that, it's not something that you would normally just bring into your house. You know, you really try not to bring in things like cat flu, particularly it's rather contagious. And no, it was only through casual conversation that we found that, and we were like, whoa, you know, we can't just throw these kittens where we were going to. We now have to come up with a different plan right on the last second, and we're already strained due to the fact that we've got 2 desexed girls that we're dealing with. So we're a little bit upset about that. I mean, the clinic's a really good clinic. We do love the people down there. They, do a very good job. But when you get thrown things like that, particularly when it comes to the health of all the others that you're dealing with, yeah, it's a bit of an oversight. I can only imagine that they're just extremely busy, and yeah, they've figured, well, it's been a couple of weeks, so it should all be clear now. But it's just one of those disclosure things. It'd be nice to know in advance. Because when we've got the place set up properly how we want, we will have a proper like quarantine room, things like that, where we'll be able to handle that thing properly. But we don't have that at the moment, so it was a bit of a whoa, back up. I think they realised by my tone. Like I said, I do really like the people down there. They do a fantastic job and they have helped us out. But that one just kind of felt like a little bit caught off guard. Okay, I don't know what the heck's going on here. This board is basically pristine. I would not want to start digging into this board anywhere, because I'm more likely to create issues than fix issues. So I'm going to basically say to them, I'll back it up. Oh wait, is that a spot of corrosion there? Okay, that is a legit spot of corrosion, which means that one there is the new Z type. So we might have something under there. Alright, see, now that's what I'm looking for. Something like that Whereas if it's a pristine board and you can't find a physical fault like that, you really don't want to be touching it. It just doesn't make sense, particularly when it starts just working. Because you know you're going to create problems, you're going to paint yourself into a corner or dig yourself a hole, and yeah, things are going to go bad. Okay, so we'll just paint that, blood mark our cap. That is a teeny tiny speck of corrosion, honestly. And yeah, these people, like I said, they're good at what they do. Some businesses, you kind of wonder whether they're just using you for free or low cost diagnostics and whatnot. And it's like, well, that's not really what I'm here for. But these chaps, they do an excellent job. I actually sent them some of my test equipment just to help them out a little more, so they can do an even better job down there of discriminating what needs to be sent and what doesn't. Anyway, let's see if I can have a look under there. I can't really get a good look under there. You can see... No, wait, no. So I'd say we do a backup and then reball that. It might actually only just need a reflow. But when it comes to reflows, I kind of just prefer to reball, get it all done in one hit. Oh, look at that. We've got a resistor that decided to stand up and defy the conventions. That is actually fairly normal to see. The ones you don't want to see are where the resistors have tombstoned. Tombstoning will definitely stop a board dead, but on the side or upside down, that's not a problem. At least not for resistors and most of these caps. I don't think there's too many parts that are orientation sensitive in that manner as opposed to polarity sensitive. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Yep. So I'm going to put this back into the chassis. I'll put it into target disk mode and just do a backup. I've been buying hard drives when I see them on special, like 1 terabyte cheap portable hard drives. Just, you know, every time a customer needs a backup like this, just back it up onto a fresh one of those, send it down to them. Now I know you could put it on a solid state drive or you could put it on a USB stick, but at least these backup drives give you pretty much a guaranteed storage space for whatever you're going to encounter when you plug it in. Hey Endux, let's see, what's the time here? 2 o'clock in the morning. It's probably about time I went to bed. Yeah. Alright then, well I think that's that. I think the biggest achievement tonight really is resolving the microphone issues. So it seems like it was actually opposite to what we thought it might have been. We were worried that the AGC was not working properly, in the sense that it was actually oversaturating, it not attenuating the signal down, but it looks like it might have just been a big fatty hit in the way, causing the attenuation of the transmission signal on my side. So we'll see how we go. It's in my right hand pocket now. And has anyone heard any glitches? Because let's see, if we haven't had any glitches since I've done the right side shift, then I think we can pretty much say that it's fixed. Because we know that previously we were getting glitches every 3 or 4 minutes at the least. Let's see, I think we're good. I'm just checking up on the chat, make sure I haven't missed anything. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Basil's still here from the whole event. That's pretty good going there, Basil. You survived the whole. Well, it looks like it's only been an hour and a half. Bit of a short stream. All right then. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for helping me resolve the. Oh God, what happened there? Just as I was finishing, YouTube decided to poop its pants. Can you say that on YouTube? I think I just had a glitch then. So pop out chat, catch up. Let's see, let me just check. Da, da, da. Well, Christian, I did used to ride a motorbike a lot, so yeah, that glitch was a different one. That was an internet glitch. For some reason, my upstream provider seems to every now and then just drop out everything, and I lose all my DNS and everything. But no, that's fine. It's all good. The audio is okay. All right, I'm out here. You all take care. I will see you tomorrow, perhaps, or whenever I happen to be back around. We might try to get some programming done over this Christmas period. Get some improvements into various bits and pieces of software. Okay, you all take care. Have a good holidays if I don't see you, but I'm sure I will. In the meantime, I'll catch you later.